Hey guys, how you doing? This is JP Sarri, and this is the first episode of my Week in Gaming. Week in Gaming, I will talk about a lot of gaming stuff. We're separating everything from the entertainment. That way, we can have more concise format, and and you can see. And if you really want to, to know more about games and my point of view and the news that really caught my eye, then this is the place to be. So, every Friday, for now, until maybe something changes or something different happens, we'll try it out and see how it goes. But we're going to talk about the things that happen in gaming this week. First, Sony is finally supporting cross-platform, starting with Fortnite. It was something that has been discussed for quite a while. A lot of people were really upset. As you know, Fortnite has become such a monster in the gaming industry. Took everyone by surprise, and there's so many people playing it. There's cross-platform everywhere. People playing in Android, iOS, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, Microsoft Windows, in Mac. So now, of course, Sony was the one holding back, not wanting to do this. Of course, they are at the top of their game. They're the best selling. They have the best-selling console, so they are actually controlling the market. So they didn't want to just kind of play out in this case with Nintendo Switch or Xbox. In this case, particularly Xbox has been struggling with sales, although Nintendo Switch has done great this year. So they were really they were pushing for this, but Sony was saying no. But of course, there was a lot of backlash. A lot of people are coming at Sony saying, you have to stand for your consumers. We want this. So finally, I think they decided. I'm not a Fortnite fan. I don't care much about the game, but I think that this also opens the opportunity for the future for to see more of this cross-platform gaming throughout other type of games. So I think this is an opportunity. It's an open door to see this happening in the future. Also today we had Forza Horizon 4, which is releasing today, the Ultimate Edition. A lot of people are really excited. It's actually the regular edition is releasing on October the 2nd in a couple of days. But you definitely Forza, it's such a phenomenal series. Particularly the Forza Horizon, which has been developed by Playground Games, which is a British company, and of course published by Microsoft. This is the 11th installment on the Forza series, which I have been playing the Forza games, Forza Motorsport, since it came out, the first one on the regular Xbox. I was in love. I always loved that. What the great thing about Forza Horizon of the Horizon series is that it really brings the same level of quality of, let's say, of the simulation style, but into the arcade racing. So it's not one of the type of games that can be as hard to play. Like when you play Gran Turismo, it becomes sometimes really hard because there's so much in the career modes. There's so much to do. It's really hard and it can be a bit tedious. But for someone like me that just sometimes wants to jump into a racer and just play the game, this is definitely the type of game that you can do. It's more like an arcade style, but it does have a lot of depth that you can see in it. It's beautiful to look at. There are shifting seasons, daily challenges and events. It's an open world, a humongous open world where you can interact with up to 72 players online, and you can compete with up to 12 players. So there's a lot to see. There's a lot, the environment changes with the weather, with the seasons, and that affects the driving, and it affects the way you manage your driving, things that you have to do to your car. So it definitely really puts everything in a really good package for the people that they love this game, whether you're casual or whether you are a more expert type of racer. I think this is the one. There is 450 licensed cars, more than ever before, and there's some exceptions like Mitsubishi cars, Toyota, and Lexus cars, which is due to licensing, which is kind of sad. But you have an ample array of cars, and one of the ones I really like is the fact that you have a James Bond car pack. So all the iconic cars from the James Bond series, they're gonna be there. So I don't know, it's just to think about driving, in the countryside of England and places like that, Edinburgh and places like that, in Wales or Scotland. All of that is really, I don't know, it's just fun to me. I really like the idea just to kind of just drive around and do whatever you want and enjoy the time, whether you want to compete or not. We also saw Assassin's Creed Odyssey. We saw this case the launch trailer, and a lot of people are super excited about this game. And it's coming in October 5th, so it's coming next week. I'm really looking forward to it. I haven't been as excited for Assassin's Creed game in a while, in a long time. I have played all of them. I have all of them, but I haven't even played some. I haven't even started a few of them. I started a few of them, but I never really finished them. So I played, but this is just right up my alley. I just love the open worlds. I love the ability to really do all kind of things, and I love the setting. I love the setting of in this case the Greek, ancient Greece. So it's just the Greek mythology. So you're really looking forward. It's been praised by a lot of the reviewers. A lot of people that have played and they say it has the right amount of everything you need. So really looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be one of the best games of this year. We also got the news of Red Dead Redemption that is releasing on October 26th, that is actually going to require a mandatory install of 105 gigabytes, which is huge on a PS4. And it's going to support up to 32 players online. Now, as you know, if you have seen the videos, it looks great. It looks just fantastic. But just the install alone, it's just going to be huge. And I know the other PC games kind of take that install, but of course, when you're looking at the way these games are bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's just the space that you have to save them in it's hard. It's just hard to think about. You buy games, and I have a lot of games, and I buy games, and then you have to delete and install again. So it's just hard just to think that how the huge amount of this, and hopefully that makes it for I'm sure that they have to render higher quality if you have a 4K television with HDR, so all of that. So I imagine that even on the Xbox One X is gonna even be bigger than this, but it is what it is. It's part of the new world that we're living in with games. So I wish they have bigger hard drives, or even external hard drives. Sometimes you're limited by 8, or by 4, or then you have to get an 8 with their own power surge. So all of those things are just getting bigger and bigger, so you have to buy bigger and bigger. So I don't know, it's just one thing to know. 32 players online, it's not a big number, but it's still it's a good number. There's gonna be select online content for PS4 owners, but only for 30 days. After that, of course, everyone, in this case the Xbox and PC, they'll be able to have it. We also have the news from Konami for Castlevania Requiem that it's going to be launched on the same date, October 26th, and you can pre-order now, and launches only for PS4. And Castlevania Requiem is going to be, of course, a compilation of Symphony of the Night and Rondo of Blood, some of the best Castlevania games of all times, praised as one of the best of all. So now they're coming to the PS4. A lot of people are upset that it's not coming to the Switch or the Xbox, but eventually I'm sure that it's going to end up there, but for the time being, it's only for PS4. One of the stories this week, and actually is an extension of last week's story, is the Telltale's closure. Telltale's a developer that has been well known for a lot of their approach to storytelling. They create these stories, episodic tales for games, and they have done a lot of games like Back to the Future, which I really like. But they have done many different games for different franchises, and lately they've been involved, and they've been doing a lot of this stuff for The Walking Dead. They were still selling the episodes. They still were having more episodes, but Telltale has been having a lot of issues, and it's something that is well known for quite a while. Financially, they were struggling. There was a lot of mismanagement in the company. Ultimately, I think one of their investors pulled out, so they don't have any more money really to keep the business running, so they just simply close the door, and they just give the notice, like 30-minute notice, to all their employees, and they let them go. No severance package. It is really sad to hear this. Good thing that some companies have stepped in, like Ubisoft, step in and says that they reach out to many of the former employees, and they offer them jobs, and they're gonna offer some type of hiring party, so they can come and they can talk to them and offer them a job. So I really, it's good when the companies step in for other people. But it's a lot of stories that have come out through Twitter and a lot of the other social media. We have come to know a lot of the things that were happening inside of Telltale's, the way they were treating their employees. They were expecting so much hour. They were firing people left and right, constantly rehiring people, hiring here, paying little, and not really doing what standing by them. And the sad part is that in this industry of gaming industry that we love so much, and there's a lot of people in the back doors and behind the curtains that we don't see. People that they are involved in the project. They put their heart, they put their heart, they put their time, their effort, their dreams into building this marvelous worlds that we play in. And many of them, they don't have a security. They don't have a secure job. So it's sad that this is happening. And a lot of people are upset because of what happened with The Walking Dead, and people, they demanding that they have the episodes, they finish what they pay, because they pay for the season passes, and I think they deserve to get those things. But they end up with only with a skeleton crew trying to just finish it. And it's really sad that companies like this kind of play, and they don't take no responsibility for the people that employ. So I wish the best. We wish the best to all the people that were affected by it. Hopefully they can find a job soon, and they can continue doing what they do best. And now, finishing this video, I want to talk about another friend, a friend of mine that actually he is a person that I met through Facebook groups, and he is a sculptor. He's a digital sculptor, and his name is Kris Lee. Chris Patterson, best known as Kris Lee. Kris Lee suffered an accident back in September 14th. He was hiking in near his home in California, and he had an accident, a really bad accident where he broke his neck. It is a miracle that he's still alive. He has been under treatment, of course, under different apparatus so he can breathe, because he cannot breathe on his own. But of course, the family is there for him, and they're trying to support him, and they create a GoFundMe account. He is actually a veteran. He was an Army scout, so he has served our country, and he left the Army, so he went into designer school. He loves 3D printing. He is very good with ZBrush. He did a lot of stuff on his own, and all of that stuff, caught the eye of a lot of companies. He has done stuff for Pop Culture Shock, stuff for XM Studios. And last year, he was working for White Moon Dreams, which is a designer company that it's a small company in California, but does develop games like War Machine Tactics and Starblood Arena. And he was character designer there. He was working there designing some of their characters. He left that company last year, and he did a lot of the freelancing work. So he's a freelancer, but he's a designer, graphic designer. He does a lot of stuff for games, and for a lot of people that they hire him to do stuff for him. So definitely, he, like many of this in this industry, and going back to what I said about Telltale, a lot of people that work for this industry, they struggle within this industry. You get, it's work for hire. You get hired to do a job. Then when the job closes, when the game is closed, or when whatever project is done, then you move on to the next thing, or you're looking for another job, which makes it hard for these people, these artists that, they really gives us a lot. So I'm praying for Kris to recover, and, I'm going to have the link to the GoFundMe account. If you're interested in supporting someone, this is the person that you can support. He is very young. He has served our country. He went in the military. He did, his part. He defended our freedom, and of course, when he left, he was trying to pursue his dream, and he's been trying to do it. And unfortunately, now he's fighting for his life again. Now here in our soil, he was at war. He went to war, so he knows, life and death experiences. So, I'm praying for him. If you want to help out, just reach out and help the family. They will be thankful for it. Do unto others what you want him to do to you. If you are in the same situation, that's my motto, and I feel that he deserves it. And it's always a good feeling where we can help each other out. So once again, thanks for watching this video. This is the first time that I do this gaming video, so please like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video, and don't forget to hit the notification button. And next week we will come back again, and we'll have more videos, and we'll talk about a lot of things that we care about. So God bless you, my friends. Talk to you again. Bye bye.
We can make a wildfire get away.